Welcome back to my channel. Today we are doing a bookshelf tour, or actually not today. I have already filmed the video. I just did not like the intro I made, so I am doing it anew. So a few things have changed because my bookshelves never stay the same for long, but you can kind of see on the shelves right here that it looks like there is books there. Technically there is, but only like 4 or 5 books, just so it looks a little bit prettier for the shop. That is literally the only reason why. I do have a full Billy bookshelf right there, but that is actually for like other storage stuff as well, so I don't have books on the entire Billy shelf on that side. I do have one big Billy bookshelf right here. I have a shorter one right here, and then these 2 extenders right here. I have a window on the side here that has to be able to open, so I had to do it kind of a weird solution. And then I also have a few shelves in the corner right there. A few tiny things have changed, but the idea is mainly the same and the books are all the same. I also have this plant right here. It's fake because I have already said that in a video. I can't for the life of me keep plants alive, so this is fake, but I just got it to like hide the crack between the shelves right here, and it works wonderfully. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. I will now hand you off to my past self. Let's just start with this weird shelf right here. As I said, I have a window right here, so I have to be able to like open it, which is why I have such a weird solution. So it's a short white Billy bookshelf and then 2 thin extenders on top of that. This is just my giant bunny plushie that I have no idea where to put. So it's just right here for now, but I feel like it takes a lot of visual space in my videos, so I may move that. And then I just have this cute duck plushie from Kenji. I got it in England. And then a Baby Yoda hidden back there. No space. I actually don't have a tall enough tripod, so I have to hold you for this part. Correction, I tried to hold you. That was too wobbly, but I did fix it. Kind of weird angle, but yeah, I am just a floating head right now. This stack right here is just what aesthetically or genre-wise did not fit into the rest of my bookshelves. It's either mass market paperbacks like Rapture and Crazy Rich Asians. You don't want to hear every single book I have on my bookshelves, right? That is too boring. But I have classics right here. I have no idea if I'm going to read classics, but I have them. I have either been gifted them, like Little Women by Louisa May Alcott. I do want to read that one. Or I found them secondhand for super cheap, like The Lady of Camellias. And then here's just like Korean and Japanese fiction. I have read Convenience Store Woman. I do not get the hype. And I have read Before the Coffee Gets Cold. I did really like that one. This is the only book I have read by Haruki Murakami. Oh my god. Colorless Sukuru Tazagi and His Years of Pilgrimage. I was so bored during that book. Yolk by Mary H.K. Choi. The Mountains Sing by... I'm sorry, I am half Vietnamese, but I am not able to pronounce Vietnamese words. Every time I try, my mom just looks ugly at me. And Pachinko by Min Jin Lee. So I do want to read those 3. Then I have If You Could See the Sun by Anne Liang. I have read that one. And then I just have these cute little editions of Lord of the Rings. I love this. My mom gave them as a Christmas present to me like 3 years ago. And I have still not read them, but I will get to them eventually. And then I just have this cup from Fairloo. It's the Shadowhunters World with a bunch of my bookmarks. One of my reading glasses and just a random Demu figure. I love him. And then for these 2 extenders right here, I just have the entire Narnia Chronicles. I bought them for like £20 at the worst in London, I think. And then I just have a cutie little Skull Panda plushie, Hiromi keychain. And then behind here I just have like, there's just this like figurine of a Vietnamese woman in a traditional Vietnamese ao dai. I just really love it. I have some like jade stones and jewelry, gold jewelry around here. It's very extra, but I think it's really cute. Oh no! Stay! Stay! Okay, it's okay. And down here, I think that's a Squishmallow? I don't know. I got it as a gift. And then I have a bunch of Danmei right here. I have Guardian Volume 3 randomly, but I fell for the hype. It's a special edition, so I bought the last volume. I will get to it. Oh. It's a bit in the wrong order. But I have Grandmaster Volume 1, 2, and 5. Because I got the special edition. And then I have the Scumvillain Self-Saving System 1, 2, and 4, again special edition. Then Heaven Official's Blessing 1 and 8. Special edition. I have stopped buying Danmei special editions, I promise. Is it bad to say that I am only halfway through the Scumvillain Volume 1 and halfway through the Grandmaster Volume 1? No comments. And then right here I just have like my Kindle or my current reads. This is my short, broad billy shelf. My bed is literally right here, so the angle might be a little bit weird on this shelf, but we will make it work. I have double stacked most of my bookshelves like this, with just like a wooden riser right under there. And I have been able to fit a lot of books on all of these shelves together. So right in the back here, you see all of my Brandon Sanderson. And I am going to admit something crazy. I have not read any of them, but I can just I can justify that. I do have plans to like make an entire series of videos reading all of his books. So I wanted to get them all before I started the video. That is why. I have a reason. So right here I have the Mistborn trilogy, the Wax and Wane series, and then I have the Stormlight archives. And I actually think it's really cool because I have the editions, the UK editions, that are split up in part 1 and part 2. So I have two, it looks like I have two of the same book, The Way of Kings and then Oathbringer and then The Rhythm of War, but it is actually part 1 and part 2. I am missing Words of Radiance part 1 though. I cannot find it because they are out of print. I have gone quite the length just to find these split up editions. Next is Arcanum Unbounded, Warbringer, Elantris, Yumi and the Nightmare Painter, Tress of the Emerald Sea, and then The Sunlit Man. And I have one book right here by Robert Jordan. It's the first book in the Wheel of Time trilogy. A giant series. What's it actually called? It's called The Eye of the World. That's the actual name of the first book. Here I have the Poppy War trilogy. I absolutely loved the first book, The Poppy War, and then the Dragon Republic. It was fine. The Burning God. What even was this? I did not like it, to say the least. But I do really want to pick up R.F. Kuang's Babel and Catabasis. And then I have the entire Shatter Me series right here by Tahereh Mafi. Shatter Me, Unravel Me, Unite Me, Ignite Me, Restore Me, Defy Me, Find Me, Imagine Me, and Believe Me. Now, I have only read the first book. I do want to read them all in a series, but I bought them all because I really loved This Woven Kingdom and These Infinite Threads by Tahereh Mafi, the same author. And I have actually decided that I want to not read the third and fourth book in this series yet. I want to wait until the fifth and last book comes out. So trying to fill up this Woven Kingdom empty space, I got the entire Shatter Me series. So I am going to read them all in a video. When? Hopefully soon. Will it happen soon? Don't know. Hopefully. And then I have 5 Terry Pratchett books right here. Yeah, so I am also going to do the same as I am doing with Brandon Sanderson. I am going to get all of his books, which is like 40 books, and then read them all. So I have 5 of his books right here. Sorcery, that's number 5, I think. And then The Color of Magic, number 1. The Light Fantastic 2. Equal Rights 3. And more 4. That's just release order. You don't have to read them in release order. You can read them however you want. And then I have the entire Illuminae files by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff. Illuminae, Gemina, and Obsidio. I did really love this series, so I got Nevernight by Jay Kristoff, one of the authors that wrote this series. And then lastly on the shelf is Assassin's Apprentice by Robin Hobb. Yeah, so I only have books on the two top shelves, and then I have like miscellaneous stuff on the bottom shelf, both on this shelf and on the next shelf right there. First off, I have this Skull Panda figurine from the Warmth series. She technically has 2 frogs with her as well, but I am terrified of losing them, so they are without her for a while until I get a better place to display her. Oh, in the back right here, I just have... Should I just put down all of the books? There you go. Now you can actually see them. As you can probably guess, this is kind of a nostalgic shelf of books that... I haven't read all of the books on this shelf, but most of these are like books that I read in my childhood that I really loved. In the beginning here, I have 3 Norwegian books by Monica Steinholm. This is some of my John Green books. I don't have all of them. Some of them are under my bed. I actually have quite a few books under my bed as well, but I am not going through that today. Paper Towns, Let It Go, Let It Snow, and Looking for Alaska. Jandy Nelson, I'll Give You the Sun, Rainbow Rowell Fangirl, 3 books by Becky Albertalli, Simon versus the Homo Sapiens Agenda, The Upside of Unrequited, Leia, on the Offbeat. And then all 5 of the Selection series. The Selection, the Elite, the One, the Air, and the Crown. I loved this series when I was younger, so I really want to do a reread of these. Then I just have some Rick Riordan presents right here. The Stormrunner by J.C. Cervantes. Last Fallen Star by Gracie Kim. Arusha and the End of Time by Roshani Chakshi. Amari and the Night Brothers by B.B. Alston. And then I have my paperback editions of Percy Jackson, The Lightning Thief, The Sea of Monsters, The Titan's Curse, The Battle of the Labyrinth, and The Last Olympian. The Maze Runner trilogy plus 1 of the extra books. The Maze Runner, The Scorch Trials, Death Cure, and The Kill Order. And then I have a pretty unknown series by Alan Sadoff. I think it's called Boy Nobody. The Hit, The Mission, and The Traitor. For the front row, we have 6 books by Victoria Aveyard. Red Queen, Glass Sword, King's Cage, Warstorm, I think? I can't see it. I think it's Warstorm. Broken Throne, and Cruel Crown. I actually read this when I was in my teens, very young teens. I think only like these 3 books were out when I read this, and I think I only read the first 2 books. Maybe I stopped halfway through this one, so I do really want to do a reread of this series as well. Then I have A Deadly Education by Naomi Novik, Sea Witch and Sea Witch Rising by Sarah Henning, An Arrow to the Moon by Emily X.R. Pan, Cinderella is Dead, This Poison Heart, This Wicked Fate by Kalin Bayran, Carve the Mark and The Fates Divide by Veronica Roth, the same author that wrote Divergent. I really liked the first book in this series, and then the second book kind of fell off for me. It's a duology actually. The House in the Cerulean Sea and Somewhere Beyond the Sea by T.J. Klune. Also Wolf Song by the same author. Really love the first book. The second book was super boring. Have not read that one yet. Scythe, Thunderhead, The Tall, and Gleanings by Neil Schusterman. I have read another series by this author called Unwind, which I absolutely loved, so I am very excited about this series. I hope this is in focus. Oh my god, was that not in focus? The Book That Wouldn't Burn by Mark Lawrence, The Art of Prophecy by Wesley Chu, and then lastly Pale Kings and Lost Gods by Micah Yango. That was quite the workout of getting those angles. Now on to the top of my main bookshelf. Okay, give me a second. Wait. Okay, I am standing on a very unsteady stool for you. Be grateful. So on the top of my shelf, I have a bunch of hardcovers. Mainly Sarah J. Maas, the old edition for both Throne of Glass and ACOTAR, except for this one. But I actually think I'm going to sell these just because they are worth a lot of money, and I just don't really want that many hardcovers in my collection anymore. I used to be a hardcore hardcover only girl before, but I just realized that with all of the books that I want to own, it's just not possible. And there were just so many things that were difficult, like if the hardcover was out of print, so I just gave that up. I sold almost all of my hardcovers, and I am going to sell these too, because I do have them in paperback already, so don't need these. My feet hurt. She Who Became the Sun and He Who Drowned the World by Shelley Parker Chan, Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies and Emily Wilde's Map of the Other Lands by Heather Fawcett. And I have most of the books that are out in the Wayward Children series by Seanan Maguire. Every Heart a Doorway, Down Among the Sticks and Bones, Beneath the Sugar Sky, In an Absent Dream, Come Tumbling Down, Where the Drowned Girls Go, Across the Green Grass Fields, Adrift in Currents Clean and Clear, and Lost in the Moment and Found. I think I only missed like one, maybe there has come out one more recently. I think they tend to drop once a year in January. But yeah, I have read most of them, maybe up until this point. And then I thought I am going to wait until a few more has come out to maybe reread the entire series. I randomly have The Order of the Pure Moon Reflected in Water by Sen Cho. I have read it, I remember nothing. And then I just have this random novella, Mysteries of Thorn Manor by Margaret Rogerson. It's a novella to the Sorcery of Thorns is what the main book is called. I do have the main book somewhere, just not on my bookshelves. Probably under my bed. So I chose to have more of the books I have read in the front, mainly, not all. It's kind of a mix between read and unread in the back and the front. In the front row right here, I have the fine print, terms and conditions, final offer, and I think I have Yes, Love Redesigned and Love Unwritten all by Lauren Asher. The Love Hypothesis, Love on the Brain, Loathe to Love You, Love Theoretically, Check and Mate, Bride, Mate, Deep End, and Not in Love, all by Ali Hazelwood. The Spanish Love Deception and The American Roommate Experiment by Elena Armas. I am actually currently listening to this on audiobook. Collide and Spiral by Bal Cabra. Flawless and Heartless by Elsie Silver. That Time I Got Drunk and Saved a Demon. That Time I Got Drunk and Yeeted a Love Potion at a Werewolf. And That Time I Got Drunk and Saved a Human, all by Kimberly Lemming. It's not literary gold, but it is fun. And then I have Binding 13 and Keeping 13 by Chloe Walsh. I do also want to make like a full reading vlog of the entire series, but I am kind of nervous that I'm going to end up an emotional wreck at the end of that. Oh, and then I just have this Hirono figure. It is one of the 3 Hirono figures I have from the Reshape series. So right here I have a bunch of Julia Quinn, and you would think that I love her. I do not. I have read most of these when I was younger, and then when I have read more of these lately, I just... not great, but I really love the covers, so I don't want to part with them. Like, for example, these 2. I just think they are really pretty, so for the moment, I am not parting with them. Julia Quinn is the author of Bridgerton, if you didn't know. There's 4 series here. They might be jumbled up, but I have Just Like Heaven, A Night Like This, The Sum of All Kisses, The Secret Diaries of Miss Miranda Cheever, What Happens in London, 10 Things I Love About You, The Secrets of Sir Richard Kenworthy, How to Marry a Marquise, and To Catch an Heiress. Everything Everything by Nicola Yoon, She Drives Me Crazy by Kelly Quinlan, Delilah Green Doesn't Care by Ashley Herring Blake, The Fake Mate and The Nanny by Lana Ferguson, My Mechanical Romance by Alexine Farrell Fullmouth. I think that's the same author as Olivia Blake, just with another pen name. Night Shift by Annie Crown. My Roommate is a Vampire by Jenna Levine. Say You Swear by Megan Brandy. The 7-Year Slip by Ashley Poston. One True Loves and After I Do by Taylor Jenkins Reid. Excuse Me While I Uglily Cry by Joya Goffney. Meet Me at the Lake and Every Summer After by Carly Fortune. My Killer Vacation and Fangirl Down by Tessa Bailey. Love Boat Reunion and Love Boat Taipei by Abigail Hing Wen. They Both Die at the End by Adam Silvera. What If It's Us by Becky Albertalli and Adam Silvera. And then lastly, Written in the Stars by Alexandra Bellafleur. Of these I have read some of them, but not all of them. So that's why there's a lot of standalones, not a lot of series right here, because I prioritized having actual series that I have read in the front, and then the miscellaneous stuff that don't really have a home in the back. My neck hurts after like being like this the entire time. In the front row, it's Twisted Love, Twisted Games, Twisted Hate, and Twisted Lies, King of Sloth, King of Greed, and King of Pride. All by Ana Huang. Oh, wait. Yeah. Oops. I also have The Striker and King of Wrath by Ana Huang. Then I have Icebreaker, Wildfire, and Daydream by Hannah Grace. I was pleasantly surprised by Icebreaker. I had very low expectations for that because obviously everybody on TikTok that does not love the book loves to shit on the book. So I went into that with very low expectations, went out of it with, I think it's a 5 stars for me? At least a 4 stars, I can't remember. The only other hockey romance I have read is the Off-Campus series by Elle Kennedy, and I like this a lot more. Maybe unpopular opinion, but I just really like Icebreaker. Then I have Good Spirits, Business Casual, Mixed Signals, In the Weeds, and Love Light Farms, all by B.K. Borison. And Good Spirits is actually this really pretty sprayed edition with blue sprayed edges and flowers on them. I got this at the Works. And also this set at the Works. Maybe 14 pounds, 15, I can't remember, but it was cheap. So I got them all. Actually, I think I have the perfect figure to display with Good Spirits. I know Christmas is over, but I have the Pop Mart Apple of My Eye blind box, but I got this confirmed, so I know which figure is in the box. This is so cute. It's Demu in like a snow apple. I think this is going to be That is so cute. I know Christmas is over, but I am going to hold on to the Christmas spirit just a little bit longer. Here I have the Wisteria Society of Lady Scoundrels, the League of Gentlewomen Witches, and the Secret Service of Tea and Treason, all by India Halton. A Deal with the Elf King, A Dance with the Fey Prince, A Duel with the Vampire Lord, and A Duet with the Siren Duke, all by Elise Kova. I read the first book. Did not really enjoy it, but I think I've heard that the next books become better, so I think I'm still going to give the rest of the series a chance. And then lastly on this row is The God and the Gumiho by Sophie Kim. Why did I make this so hard for myself? So, on the back row, we have 4 Emily Henry books: Happy Place, Beach Read, You and Me on Vacation, and Book Lovers. Consider Me by Becca Mack, All Roads Lead Here by Mariana Zapata. Last Night at the Telegraph Club by Melinda Lowe. I really want to read this one. The Fake Out and Behind the Net by Stephanie Archer. And then I have the Magnolia Park series by Jessa Hastings. Magnolia Parks, Daisy Hates, Magnolia Parks, The Long Way Home, and Daisy Hates, The Great Undoing. And then I have the 5th book under my bed, I think. Why the selection of which books are under my bed and which are up on my shelf is a mystery to me too. Don't ask. The Marriage Game, The Dating Plan, The Singles Table, all by Sarah Desai. The Kiss Quotient and The Heart Principle by Helen Huang. The Deal, The Mistake, The Score, and The Goal by Elle Kennedy. I actually have more by Elle Kennedy in this universe, but I don't think I want to read more. They're not that special to me, so I think I'm just going to keep these 4 and just not read on in the universe. If you really think I should read on in this series, in this universe, then do let me know. But at the moment I don't really feel a pull to actually read more Elle Kennedy. And then I have A Bunch by Lynn Painter, Happily Never After. It was completely fine. Nothing special to me. Do-Over, really cute. The Love Wager and Mr. Wrong Number have not read. And then Betting on You, really cute. And then Casey McQuiston's Red, White, and Royal Blue. I am in the... Well, I technically have an unpopular opinion on this, but at the same time not. I read the half of it. I hated it, but then like half a year later I picked it up and read the rest of it, and then I liked it. So I really want to reread this one so I can just see what I think the second time around. And then the only Abby Jimenez book I have, Say You'll Remember Me. I have not read anything by this author, so I am very curious to see what I think about her because she is so popular. So right here you can see my 2 other Hirono figures from the Reshape series. The 3 you have seen now is my favorites from that series. Here I have the Jasmine Throne by Tasha Suri. I really want to read this one. An Ember in the Ashes, A Reaper at the Gates, and A Sky Beyond the Storm by Sabata here. I have read the entire series. I just read them in hardcover, and then I bought these 3 in paperback. I did buy the second book. I think it's the second book, but they sent me the old cover, so I want them to match, so I sent that back, and I have still not bought the second book in the new cover yet. But I really liked the series. I also really want to read the new book in this universe called Air, but I think I'm going to wait until the last book in the Air duology has come out. Then I have The Damned, The Righteous, and The Beautiful by Renee Adier. I've only read the first one. As you might have noticed as an ongoing theme in my bookshelves, I am not great at finishing series. Prime example right here, I have read the first book, not the next ones. So that's like my New Year's resolution. I need to finish my series. I have Spin the Dawn, Unravel the Dusk, and 6 Crimson Cranes by Elizabeth Lim. Powerless, Powerful, and Reckless by Lauren Roberts. I have read these 3. Then I have Daughter of the Moon Goddess, Heart of the Sun Warrior, and Tales of the Celestian Kingdom, all by Sue Lin Tan. I have read these 2, not read the novella yet. Behind here I have Seaborn by Michael Livingston and To Gaze Upon Wicked Gods by Molly X. Chang. The Cruel Prince, The Wicked King, The Queen of Nothing, The Stolen Heir, Prisoner's Throne, and The Modern Fairy Tales, all by Holly Black. This is like 3 books all in one. It's Tithe, Valiant, and Ironside. I have read the original trilogy of The Cruel Prince. I really enjoyed it. I have not read these 3 because I want to reread The Cruel Prince first. Lastly on this row, The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by V.E. Schwab. For the second to last shelf on this bookshelf, The City of Brass by S.A. Chakraborty, Divine Rivals and Ruthless Vows by Rebecca Ross. I have only read the first book. I know that's a crime. And then I have Strange the Dreamer and Muse of Nightmares by Laini Taylor, and I have 2 editions of Strange the Dreamer. I got this one first, but then I found this one, which is like the original hardcover art, which I love, so I got this as well. But I have only read the first one. I have only read the first book. I still have not gotten around to Muse of Nightmares. I think I read this last year. So I really want to get to Muse of Nightmares this year. I am horrible. I read the first book, maybe the second book, and then I start something new. So definitely need to like focus on finishing series this year. And then because I loved Laini Taylor's writing, I found these super cheap secondhand. So I got the entire series of Daughter of Smoke and Bone, Dreams of Gods and Monsters, and Days of Blood and Starlight. I still have not read them though. Caraval Legendary Finale, Once Upon a Broken Heart, The Ballad of Never After, and A Curse for True Love, all by Stephanie Garber. I have not read these. I know I have a lot of unread books, but I am planning on making a full reading vlog for Caraval very soon. We'll do that with Once Upon a Broken Heart when I have read Caraval. And then I have the Mortal Instrument series by Cassandra Clare, City of Bones, City of Ashes, City of Glass, City of Fallen Angels, City of Lost Souls, City of Heavenly Fire, and the Shadowhunters Codex. I really want to read the entire Shadowhunters universe. I have only read the first 3 books in this series, and I have read them 2 times. So I definitely have to get around to this series, this universe. And then for the back row, this is mainly my Sarah J. Maas paperbacks. And again, I have the original editions of both Throne of Glass and ACOTAR. I know. It was kind of an accident. Long story short, it was an accident. So here is The Assassin's Blade, Throne of Glass, Crown of Midnight, Heir of Fire, Queen of Shadows, Empire of Storms, Tower of Dawn, and Kingdom of Ash. I have actually not read Throne of Glass. I've only read ACOTAR. So again, I do want to get around to this series. And then for ACOTAR, I have A Court of Thorns and Roses, A Court of Mist and Fury, A Court of Wings and Ruin, and A Court of Frost and Starlight. And they are the original A Court of Thorns and Roses editions that I read, so I am never parting with these. The only book I have in Crescent City is House of Flame and Shadow, which is the 3rd book, but I found it very cheap at the works, so I snatched it up. The Book of Azrael, The Throne of Broken Gods, and The Dawn of the Cursed Queen by Amber V. Nicole. I was about to start this, but then I found out it's going to be like 6 books or something. I'm not sure, so I think I may wait a little bit more until I pick these up. And then I have Fourth Wing and Iron Flame by Rebecca Yarros. I know it's a crime, but I have not read these yet. I know that's like illegal, but I'm going to get to these soon, hopefully. And lastly, I have A Court This Cruel and Lovely by Stacia Stark. Guys, I am so squished up in here. Like it's not even space for my shoulders. Okay. Okay, so as I said earlier, I just have like miscellaneous stuff on the bottom shelves right here, because if I were to have to go down here every time I wanted a book from here or reorganize stuff, that would be very difficult. So I just chose to not have books on the absolute bottom shelf. Yeah, so ignore this. I have to read these upside down. This is going to be very difficult. So these Rebel Waves and These Divided Shores by Sarah Roche. I think I really liked these when I read them, but I did read them like 4 years ago. Serpent and Dove, Blood and Honey, and Gods and Monsters by Shelby Maherin. This is a, I almost said vampire, I mean witch and witch hunter romantasy. I have read all of them, I really like them. There's also a new duology in this universe following one of the main characters here. I think it's a vampire romance, so I definitely want to get to that. Here I have The Atlas 6 by Olivia Blake, When the Moon Hatched by Sarah A. Parker, The Gilded Ones by Namina Forna, The Song of Achilles by Madeline Miller, Spark of the Everflame by Penn Cole. I really want to read this. A Kiss of Deception by Mary E. Pearson. I really want to read Dance and Vow of Thieves because I've heard so much about it, but this trilogy is before that duology. You don't have to read this trilogy first, but if there are series within the same universe, I have to read all of them, and I have to read them as released. A Crane Among Wolves by June Her. I don't know how to say this. Shara or Zara by S.J. Jones. The Bone Shard Daughter by Andrea Stewart. I can't move my arm. The Shadows Between Us by Trisha Levenseller. The Red Scholar's Wake by Aliette de Bodard. Children of Blood and Bone by Tommy Adeyemi. Crimson Moth by Kristen Ciccarelli. Kingdom of Wicked by Carrie Maniscalco. Onyx and Obsidian by Jennifer L. Armentrout. They are the wrong way. Not the wrong way, but the wrong order. I really want to read From Blood and Ash by Jennifer L. Armentrout as well. A Tempest of Tea by Hafsa Faisal. Twin Crowns by Catherine Weber and Catherine Doyle. I just read this. It was pretty good. The Rose Bargain by Sasha Payton Smith. I really like this one. I can't wait for the next book that comes out in April, I think. Feyborn by Sarah L. Arifi. It wasn't my favorite, but I am going to give the next book in this series a chance. And Lore of the Wilds by Annalay Sabrana. I have a lot by Sophie Lark, kind of by accident. I just found them for like dirt cheap on a secondhand app. I have only read 2 of her books, but they are a recent purchase. So I have Brutal Prince, Stolen Heir, Savage Lover, Bloody Heart, Broken Vow, and Heavy Crown. They may be out of order, I have no idea. Then I have There Are No Saints and There Is No Devil. I read those 2. I think these are out of order. If they are, then it's because this is white, so it matches with this. Yeah, so that's the only books I have read by her. Kingmakers Year 1, Year 2, Year 3, Year 4, and Grad Year? Grad? It just says grad. I was actually planning on maybe unhauling one of these series, but then I found out that I think these 2 are connected. I may be wrong, but if they are connected, then I am keeping both, at least for now. Can you even see? It's so dark here. And then I have My Dark Desire and My Dark Romeo by L.J. Shen and Parker S. Huntington. These are definitely out of order. Hooked is at least first, and then I don't know about these, but Crossed, Scarred, and Wretched by Emily McIntyre. A Touch of Ruin, A Touch of Malice, and A Touch of Darkness by Scarlett St. Clair. Priest, Saint, Sinner, and Midnight Mass by Sierra Simone. A City of Flames by Rina Vasquez. The Deathless Girls by Kieran Millwood Hargrave. I think this is a gothic sapphic book, if I'm not mistaken. So I really want to get to that one. And At the Fount of Creation by Toby Ogundiran. This was kind of a random purchase, found cheap secondhand, so I don't know if I'm going to keep this. So I'm just going to hold my tripod for this. So on this entire shelf right here, this is the only part of the shelf that actually has books on it. Under here is just like beauty stuff and hair care stuff. So this is mostly my hardcover Rick Riordan shrine. I should probably have taken the plastic off because of the shine. Up here this is like the book that got me into reading. It's called Oppskrift på katastrofer. It's a Norwegian book. I don't think the author is Norwegian. And then up here I just have this Nachos After the War, a like tiny it's not even a novella. It's a short story that Rick Riordan wrote, and I like formatted it and printed it out so I can read it as a booklet. I was very proud of this. So I only have the first book in the Kane Chronicles in hardcover, The Red Pyramid. And then I have 2 of the Percy Jackson graphic novels, The Lightning Thief and The Titan's Curse. And then I have the entire Percy Jackson hardcovers still in the plastic. I am not going to list up all of the book names because I did that earlier. Same with Heroes of Olympus. I have the entire hardcover set still in the plastic. When I grew up, I read these in paperback, so the hardcovers I got in my adult life. So the idea is that I don't get to take off the plastic before I start rereading the series, but I may take them off just because they are a nuisance filming with. And the books in Heroes of Olympus is The Lost Hero, The Son of Neptune, The Mark of Athena, The House of Hades, and The Blood of Olympus. And then next to that I have Magnus Chase and the Gods of Asgard trilogy, The Sword of Summer, The Hammer of Thor, and The Ship of the Dead. And then I have The Sun and the Star by Rick Riordan and Mark Oshiro. On the side here I just have a box set. Can you open, please? I just have a hardcover box set of Harry Potter. They were my childhood. I love these. So this is just kind of where my miscellaneous books go, kinda. Up here, for example, are all of the books that are not the typical UK paperback heights, which is like 19.7 centimeters. Most of these are around 21 centimeters? Yeah, I think that's like the standard US paperback size. I do try to get most of my books in standard UK size just because then I can double stack them like I do. While these are 23 centimeters, so very annoying size to me. Just some random manhwa graphic novels. I have some manga right here. and a few hardcovers in the back there. I do also have a lot more hardcovers under my bed. I just don't have space for them. These are just where the books that I don't really know where to put go. Oh my god, my camera is balancing very dangerously right now. I just have this, I can't remember if this has a name. Is it from Sailor Moon? I may be totally wrong, but I just got that as a gift from a friend, and then I actually made this myself. It's the air balloon from one of the BTS albums. I think it's Young Forever. I love that album, I love BTS, so I just made that. I also have a tiny Mang plushie right here. And then in here I just have some bookmarks, mainly Fairyloot bookmarks from when I used to be subscribed to Fairyloot. Here I have 3 more Hirono figures, and then 2 K-pop Demon Hunters standees. I just thought they were really cute. Yeah, as you can see, it is so many different genres right here. There's dystopia, then there's dark romance, sci-fi, fantasy, and danmei. Yeah, so here I have another danmei. Again, a special edition of the last volume, 1000 Autumns, but no, I'm not going to say that name. 1000 Autumns. So yeah, I am going to buy the first volume and see what I think. As I said, I am not buying more special editions of the last volume. Not doing that. That is stupid. And then I have Renegades, Arch Enemies, Supernova, and Cinder, all by Stephanie Meyer. I really, really love these covers right here, which is why I decided to get them in the US height and not the UK covers. I don't really like the UK covers. Get in! Ah! Ow! Manga may have ruined my lipstick, we will see in a second. And on the bottom we have Graceling, Winterkeep, Bitterblue, and Fire by Christine Cashore. Again, I just really love the US covers. The UK covers are very boring and basic, both the new and the old, so I have to show you. I just love these covers so much. The art is just stunning on all of the books, so I knew I needed these editions. And then here I have Gumiho and Dokkaebi by Kat Cho. I really, really like this series. I can't remember if I read the second book. I think I have, but I can't actually remember anything from it. So, seems like it's time to reread, but I do love Gumiho. It is such a good YA romantasy about the Korean myth Gumiho, the nine-tailed fox. Next is Forest of a Thousand Lanterns and Kingdom of the Blazing Phoenix by Julie C. Dow. I do realize that I started from the wrong end of the shelf, since I have to say the first book before the second book, but yeah. Descendant of the Crane by Joan He. Gearbreakers by Zoe Mikura, I think? Yes, Soahana Mikura. Then I have Vows of Empire. It's the 3rd book in Emily Skrutsky's The Blood Right trilogy. I have read the 2 first ones. Addicted to You by Kristen Becca Ritchie. And then I have The Never King and The Dark One by Nikki St. Crow. Then I have Haunting and Hunting Adeline. I actually just read the first book. Like, that's the last book I finished, and then I just started the second book now. I am making a reading vlog out of it. I can tell you that that reading vlog has a lot of ups and downs. And then in this stack right here, that's right, I actually have another edition of Nevernight by Jay Kristoff because I love the US edition, and I originally wanted to have this series in the US editions, but I think I have decided against that just because it's easier to have everything in the UK height, so we'll probably sell this on. I kind of forgot that I had this. And then up here I have the Divergent and the Hunger Games series. I grew up on these series, so they are super nostalgic to me. Divergent, Insurgent, and Allegiant by Veronica Roth, and The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, The Hunger Games, Catching Fire, and Mockingjay by Suzanne Collins. So on this next shelf I have displayed Alchemized. This is the Forever edition. I really love this book. It is so crazy good, and the author is just amazing, so I really love this book. This is just like completely random, but I have 2 graphic novels by Sabata here. These are both from the An Ember in the Ashes universe. So A Thief Among the Trees and A Spark Within the Forge. This is from when, oh, what are their names? I completely forgot their name. This one is from when Elias and Helene were pretty young and going through like training, and this one is about Laia and Darin before the main series started. I haven't seen anybody bothering to have these in their collections. But when there is something in a series that I love, I need to have everything in that series. And then I have the first volume of Heartstopper by Alice Oseman. It is crazy. I have still not read that one, but I do really love the TV show, so I do want to read that. Next is Avatar: The Last Airbender, The Promise. This is a webtoon called Always Human by Ari North. I think it's a while since I read it, but it is, I think it's a sapphic romance set in like, the art in this is just stunning. I love it. Yeah, so super pretty. And then I have volumes 1 through 5 of Dark Moon, The Blood Altar. It's a manhwa. How would you explain it? It's characters inspired by the Enhypen members. If you love Enhypen or K-pop, definitely give this a try. Next is The Villainess Turns the Hourglass. I think... which ones have I read? I think I have read 2 volumes of this. So these are like completely super random, does not fit with these books, but these are the only other books I have in the same height as this. Yeah, I try to not have books in this height. I am honestly considering just unhauling them. I'm not sure. Small things like that just annoy me. But yeah, The Last Dragon of the East by Katrina Kwan and Lovely War by Julie Berry. And then all of these I have read book 1. Shocker. I have put these kind of in reading order, which is why things are so weird. Well, the recommended reading order. So I have The Awakening, Ruthless Fae, and The Reckoning from the... I completely forgot what the name of this series is. Zodiac Academy. Yes, that's the first 3 books. And then I have Dark Fae, Savage Fae, Vicious Fae, Broken Fae, and Warrior Fae from Ruthless Boys, I think it's called. And then we're back to Zodiac Academy, number 4, Shadow Princess, and then number 1.5, The Awakening as Told by the Boys, and then we jump to number 8, Sorrow and Starlight. I don't have number 5, 6, and 7, and number 9. And then 8.5, Beyond the Veil, 0.5, Origins of an Academy Bully, 5.5, The Big ASS Party, and then Live and Let Lionel. Yeah, that's all of the Zodiac Academy books I have. But they're so expensive. I just have some baskets of clothes under here, so for aesthetics, let me just remove those. Yeah, I don't even know. Manga. Miscellaneous. First we have Nocturna, Occulta, and Lucero by Maya Motain. We Three Witches by Rosie Talbot. It's a very recent purchase of mine. I just found it at Waterstones when I was in London. And I just found the cover really intriguing, so I picked it up. Prison Healer by Lynette Noni, and then right here I have 4 series where I'm missing the first book in the series, so I just gathered them up here to like remind myself that I have to buy the first book so I can actually read them. So A Monsoon Rising by Thea Guanson, Filthy Rich Vampires, Second Right, and For Eternity by Geneva Lee, The Right Move, and Caught Up by Liz Tumford. Here is most of my manga. I'm not going to go like super in depth about this because I'm not a manga channel, but Your Name, The King's Beast, I may unhaul these, I don't know. Maid Sama, I actually have Miraculous Ladybug manga. I know I'm 22, but I love Miraculous Ladybug. I absolutely love it. I Hear the Sunspot, Bloom Into You, My Happy Marriage, and Given. And for the last corner, let me just remove some of the boxes. This area and this shelf right here is kind of just space for growing. I do have another riser. Yeah, you can't see it. I do have another wooden riser right here, so I can't have 2 stacks of books here. So this area is just kind of empty. But I have this... I totally forgot the name of that tree now. Darn it. It is fake. I cannot for the life of me keep a plant alive. And then I have this super cool edition of Yumi and the Nightmare Painter by Brandon Sanderson. Not talking about the fact that I have not read any of his books and I have a special edition. And it's in German. I can't read it, but I'm still happy I have it. So it's just stunning. It has so much pretty artwork. I got this when I was in Germany. So yeah, I absolutely love this. Oh, the art is stunning. Yes, so prized possession. And then here I just have some random manga again. And then lastly I have Rose in Chains by Julie Soto and Fearless and Fearful by Lauren Roberts. So I have space to have books here, and on that top shelf right here, but I don't have any books there yet. But you know, Very important to have space to grow in this hobby, because there will always be more books. Is my lipstick still okay? Mong hit me in my face, so... so yeah, that was the end of the bookshelf tour. Thank you so much for staying until the end. And if you liked this video, then definitely remember to like and subscribe so you get to see more of my contents.